All right, amazing. Let's get started. So what we're going to do today is look at how you can get consistent callbacks. So what I want to do, first of all, is to share my screen so that you can see the slideshow. And I'm going to guide you through the steps that I took to get consistent callbacks so that you can do the same thing. It's that simple. All right, cool, awesome. Here we go. Let's make this my like full screen. It's turn my camera off again, but we'll go with it because you can hear me. So yeah, we'll have to sort that out for in future because you can't see me. But this is all about consistent callbacks. So I'm going to be sharing my journey a little bit about how I went from not getting callbacks, I was feeling really lost in my musical theatre career. I didn't feel like I had very good direction. I was getting really frustrated with audition life. Why am I not getting in the room for things? Why am I not getting callbacks when I get in the room? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, is it me? Is it my songs? And you start to question so many different things. And if you're in this place right now, or if this sounds familiar to you at some point in your career that you've had so far, just put a yes in the chat so that I can gauge kind of where we're all at and really help you move forward in all of this. Oh, wow. Rachel says, I'm sat on deck. Yeah, because you're on a ship, aren't you, at the moment? Amazing. So, yeah, Lauren says yes. Ashley says yes. Rachel says yes. I think we've all been there at some point. But what I want to do is give you the tools, give you the recipe. Maria says yes. To move forward and to, when you feel yourself in those moments, not get stuck in that moment, but instead be able to move forward, to be able to keep going rather than feeling like, oh, why is this happening? Why can't I, why am I struggling? So let's do it. So we're going to go from occasional callbacks to consistent callbacks. That's the whole point of this training. So if you do want to take notes, as I said, if you do want to ask questions as well, then please do put them into the chat. I can see the chat. So absolutely use it, talk to me, talk to each other as much as you want to. So you might be in a situation right now or in the past sort of few months, maybe where you are getting one callback every now and then, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're doing exactly what I've written down here, which is what was happening to me. 1 month I would get literally like loads of callbacks and I was like, yeah, great, brilliant, woohoo, we're doing this, we're getting this. And then the next month would come and every audition I went to, I didn't get anything. I didn't get a recall for a single job. And so I'd be then questioning, well, what am I doing different? Or what am I doing wrong? Like, I don't understand. And then another month would come and I'd get maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 auditions, or 5 auditions, or 7 auditions. So it was just really inconsistent. And I found that the more I was auditioning for the jobs that I wanted to be doing, the more I was struggling to be consistent with callbacks. So, and do agree with this if this is where you're at. I found I was getting callbacks and booking jobs for things that I didn't want to do. So I had to make a choice where I was like, right, I'm not auditioning for those things anymore. I'm not doing it. I am going to make sure that everything I audition for are jobs that I want to be doing, and really want to be doing, not jobs that I'm settling for. Not things that I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. And then I guess at least I'm kind of being paid to sing. Instead, I wanted to literally, when I got the phone call, be jumping up and down and going crazy wild, like, yes, this is the one. So I had to make a few changes, and I'm sure you do too if you're in the same situation. So rather than going from 1 month to the next and it being really inconsistent, what we're going to do in this training is make sure that you know what you need to do to get callbacks consistently. so that you don't need to feel, you know, frustrated with your auditions. You don't need to dread auditions. You don't need to feel confusion or, you know, no direction or feeling lost anymore in your career. So as I said, the goal is to know how to strategically get consistent callbacks. So we're going to look at two strands. I'm very, very clear on these things. And everything that I'm talking about in this masterclass is what no one else is teaching you. No one else talks about this. No one else teaches this. And I really cannot for the life of me understand why, because this is the key. Doing these couple of things will get you from literally 0 callbacks to getting consistent callbacks and booking your dream job, because this is what I did to do exactly that. So we are going to look at it strategically. You know, how do you get consistent callbacks? What do I actually need to be doing? The physical things that I need to be doing. And then we're also going to look at the energetic side of things. And this is something that a lot of people don't look at or don't focus on. And this is a big downfall, because this is a huge thing. You need to be the person. You are the person that gets the callbacks. You're the performer that shows up as the one, the this is me energy when you step into an audition, the confidence behind who you are and what you have to offer. You know, being excited about who you are and absolutely in love with your skills, your talent, how special and magical you are. I truly, honestly believe that as performers, we are magical beings. I really, really think that. And that's why I use the term muggle job when I'm talking about normal jobs that aren't performing, because we're not everyday normal people. We're not muggles. We are magic. We absolutely are. It's like Hogwarts, but performer warts. So let's do it. Let's dive in. I want to just quickly introduce myself first. For those of you that know me, you know all of this stuff. For those of you that don't know me, just to do a little bit of an intro so you can get an idea of who I am. And yeah, just basically be like, oh, okay, you know, it's not just some random person talking me through things. I don't know whether to believe her or not. My name is Gemma Ann Barnes, officially, and on Instagram and Facebook and everything, on social media in the coaching world, performer world. I am a vocal coach and a career coach for musical theatre performers and singers. I've been in the industry, it says 12 plus years. It's actually, I think, just gone over the 13-year mark. So yeah, I've been in the industry for, I think, just over 13 years now as a performer. And then I've been coaching for over 2 years. And the transition for me, a lot of the time people say like, well, why did you become a coach? Like, what happens? And it was just over those couple of years in the pandemic where I was like, right, I need to create something for myself that keeps me driven and driving forward, because I'm such a passionate, self-driven, like, but always have to be doing something type of person. Just put a yes in the chat if you're one of those people where you can't be sat still. You can't not be doing things. Like, you have to always be focusing on something, trying to do something else, doing this, on to the next thing. Yeah, Maria says yes. Ashley says yes in capitals. But I'm one of those people as well. And so I started learning more about the voice, became completely obsessed with the science of the voice. Tallulah, yes, you will be able to use this for drama school auditions. I think you'll be able to move that. Yeah, definitely use it for that as well. Yeah, Lauren says that's always me. And that's how I was. So I really immersed myself in the science of the voice, became an absolute voice geek, excuse me, and continue to be as well. And also thought, well, I've got so much experience within the industry and getting from, you know, I use kind of quotations on this, struggling performer to like booking dream roles and getting callbacks all the time and just transforming my career completely. And I thought, I can't just keep performing and teach people to sing, but not bring this career side into it. So I am a little bit of a unique species in that sense. there aren't many vocal coach and career coaches out there for musical theatre performers and singers. But I felt the need to do it because I wish I'd had someone that helped me with my career just as much as my voice when I was training. And I love it. I work with some incredible people. So I've booked 2 out of my 3 dream roles. I've always had 3 dream roles at the top of my list. The one that I haven't booked yet is because I'm not old enough. But I will get there because, you know, we're only getting older. And so many of my clients, you know, go from being in that lost or misguided position, not knowing what to sing or how to get callbacks or what to be doing in their auditions and how to feel confident. And I help them do exactly that, really. So yeah, I went from not getting auditions to getting in the room, but then I wasn't getting callbacks, to then getting consistent callbacks, building incredible connections and booking dream jobs. And yeah, I'm so grateful every day for the career that I've been able to have and continue to have, but also for who I am. Because if I wasn't the type of person that I am, I wouldn't have done everything that I have done. So yeah, it very much starts from within. As I kind of hinted at, I've got clients that are in the West End right now. I've got clients that are on tour or they're international or on cruises. I mean, Rachel's on a cruise right now. Joining. Yeah, clients all around the world as well, in America, in Europe, in New Zealand, in Asia. So yes, wild, absolutely wild, but I love it. I absolutely love what I do. So let's get into this and focus on you. So enough about me. Yes, I'm using what I've done and I'm going to help you through that, but let's focus on you and who you are as a performer, as a person, because you are the magic sauce. Everyone's trying to find like what the best way is, or what songs what songs are the best, or how should you sing, what's the best voice type, what's the range you need. And like, actually what you need to start with and what you need to focus on, the start and the end, is you. You are the main event. But we spend so much time looking externally when actually we need to be looking internally. So I want you to have a look at yourself right now. Put yourself on a risk scale. I talk about this risk scale quite a lot. I love the risk scale that I came up with. It was something that I was filming a YouTube video once and just started talking about it. And then a casting director friend of mine saw me share that video. She was like, that was so like accurate. I talk about it all the time in the office now. And then I had her casting, like another casting director from that same office, come in for a class and literally quote my risk scale to me. And I was like, yes, that was me. So the risk scale is where you put yourself out between 1 and 10 of, you can do this for you coming into the audition room, so being called in. I know auditions now are a lot more closed door, so you have to put yourself on a risk scale. 1 being really risky, 1 being really safe, like really low risk, probably going to get in the room for the audition. 10 being really high risk, the likelihood of you getting in the audition room is very slim. And the same thing goes for callbacks. 1 being, no, they're in the no pile. We're not bringing them back for a callback. 10 being, yes, 100% without a shadow of a doubt in the yes pile. Give them the material right now. Let's go. So let's talk through both of those actually, because I feel like will that be helpful? Just drop me a yes in the chat if you want both the audition and the callback, or if you would rather just look at the callback one, then absolutely just say that. Yeah, Tallulah says yes, please. Lauren says yes. Okay, so the risk scale as from a perspective of auditions and getting in the room for auditions, this one is this is where you kind of have to use your use your, what's the word? Use your own kind of, not initiative, but it's the only word I can think of right now. So be realistic and look at yourself as a product, because at the end of the day, you're a business as a performer, whether you believe that or see that or not. Look at yourself as though you're not yourself as well. So take the personal attachment away for a moment. 10 is really, really high risk. So let's all start ourselves at 10. So 10 would be, you've never, ever, ever met a casting director. You haven't auditioned for them. You haven't got any performance footage out there in the world. Nobody knows what you can do, if you're any good. You didn't train at a college that anyone has heard of, or you didn't train at all. You've not done any jobs. You've not worked with anyone. You're like a 10 out of 10 risk when you step into an audition room, or if you're applying for an audition. So to bring that down, I think pretty much everyone in this Zoom room right now can bring their scale down from 10, and probably quite a bit from 10, because I know some of you work with me quite a bit, so I feel like excuse me, you've got this risk scale down. So bring it down a bit if you've got spotlight. If your spotlight is up to date, and I mean like actually up to date, you've looked at it recently, your skills, you've checked them, everything that's highly skilled, you've then got a reel to back that up. So if you say highly skilled, top soprano, you have proof of that in your show reels, in your vocal reels, in that video footage section, or a clip of some sort that demonstrates that. All of your information is up to date. Your credits are up to date. Your About Me section, or whatever currently in, whatever it's called now, it seems to keep changing, is up to date. It doesn't say about to be appearing in Beauty and the Beast, Panto, December 2022, and we're halfway through 2023. Yeah, so everything's up to date and everything's accurate. Everything that you say is highly skilled is backed up with a video. That brings your risk factor down so much, because if you submit yourself for an audition, or your agent submits you for an audition, and you've got those things, even if a casting director doesn't know you, doesn't know where you trained, doesn't know your agent, they can look and say, oh, they are a highly skilled soprano. Oh, they've got footage to back it up. They watch that and they say, yes, she is a highly skilled soprano. You can bring that risk scale down again when you have an agent that they trust, that casting directors know, that has a good relationship with the industry, and the same with if you have met the casting director before. So whether you have an agent or not, but you go to casting director workshops, you go to classes, and you meet creatives and casting teams or casting directors, and that brings the risk scale down again. If they've auditioned you in the past, they've met you in the past, your spotlight CV is up to date, you have performance footage, you know people, you know them, you have an agent that knows them. Do you see how the more kind of connections and the more examples of your work, the lower the risk? They're going to look at you when you submit for something, or your agent submits you for something, and say, yeah, we're bringing them in for an audition because I know that they can do this job. Or they won't bring you in because they don't think you're right, but they know you really well. So the risk scale is very, very low. They're always going to bring in people that are 1s, 2s, 3s on the risk scale, because they know they can do the job. And that's their job, to bring people in the room for the creative and production teams and say, these people could do the job, you've just got to choose who you like. They're then bringing a few 5, 6, 7s, maybe a little bit of risk there, but we'll bring them in. If you're a 9 or a 10 on the risk scale and they can only see 60, 70 people a day for 1 week or 2 weeks, and they get 5,000 submissions, well, the chance of you getting in the room is very, low. Does this all make sense? I'd love you to put in the chat what number you would put yourself at on the risk scale. Like honestly, don't be harsh on yourself. Don't be overly critical or overly kind, like an honest, accurate, where am I at? I'd love to see. Tallulah says, if you've trained at summer schools, at drama schools, would this count? I think at the moment, Tallulah, for you, yes, you could put drama schools that you've trained at, like summer school wise, that is still training. I think the training section is very, you kind of choose what you want to share on there. And when you kind of get something that tops it, i.e. if you did a summer school at GSA and then you're starting at Mountview in September, when you start at Mountview, you can put Mountview on there rather than having, because then you don't need the summer school necessarily, but you might want to keep it on there. I think it's personal preference. I don't think there's any right or wrong with that. Great. So Tallulah says 9 out of 10. Natalie says 8-ish. Yeah. Rachel says 5. Lauren says 6 or 7. Okay, great. Ashley says 6. Yeah, I think they're all pretty accurate. Maria says 7. Fab. Yeah. So I think there are definitely ways that we can look to lower that risk scale, can't we? You know, all the things that I've mentioned, have a little look, see if you can help yourself get into more audition rooms by doing the things that I said. Now let's have a look at the risk scale from a callbacks perspective. So you get the audition. They've called you all in. You do an incredible audition, or what you think is an incredible audition. Then we have to look at the risk scale for that. Did you step in the room and sing something that you've never sung before, a little bit risky? You thought it was good for the style of the show, although it doesn't really suit you, maybe. Where would you put yourself on that risk scale? Like, what are things that we can lower on the risk scale for callbacks? So just to throw a few ideas at you, as I said, your song choice, it matching who you are, it telling a story, you telling a story, you sounding great, you believing in yourself. Yes, Rachel, absolutely, self-belief, having that confidence, that magnetism that you walk in the room and everyone goes, oh my God, yes, we want to work with her. Yes, we want to work with them. We need to bring them into our cast. Yes, definitely, callback. Making sure you know your material. Yes, absolutely. Being really familiar with what you do and being clued up as well on the audition experience. I think there's so many performers that will walk into an audition room, they don't really know how to talk to a pianist, like little things like that set you up for success. If you walk over to the pianist, you hand over your music and you walk away, the pianist is sat there like, should I just guess what you want then? I hope it's all marked. Should we just do whatever tempo I feel like? So all of this risk scale really starts with your preparation and starts with you, so that you can lower that risk, so that you start singing, yeah, great, they sound great, they're in tune, they're excuse me, with the pianist. Sorry, hay fever is kicking me in the bum and it's all in my throat, so I've got this really annoying tickly cough and throat thing. Damn pollen. So all of those things, plus, are they a nice person? Can they play this role? Are they right for this role? Or do we think they could they fit somewhere within the show? Or would we like to see more from them? All of those questions will be running through a casting director's head. And that is what you need to be thinking, not when you're in the room, but right now when we look at you on the risk scale. So I want you to choose one audition song that you use all the time and put it into the chat for me. Any audition song that you're like, this is a go-to song. If you don't have a go-to song, then write down any song that you would perform in an audition right now. Perfect. Ashley says, Right Hand Man. So Ashley, you go into an audition and you sing Right Hand Man. Rachel says Life of the Party. Rachel, you step into the audition and you do Life of the Party. Tallulah says I Enjoy Being a Girl. Tallulah, you step in your audition and you sing Enjoy Being a Girl. Lauren says Somewhere That's Green or Part of Your World. Lauren, choose either one of those. You step into the audition, you're singing either Part of Your World or Somewhere That's Green. Natalie, Watch What Happens. You've stepped into that audition and you've sung Watch What Happens. Where would you put yourself on the callback scale? So, have you told your story really well? Have you sounded absolutely solid, 100% on it? Are you confident? Are you in yourself really sure of everything you're doing? Do you have the I'm the one, I absolutely love everything that I do, I'm really excited to share this with you, I'm going to be a joy to work with, I've set my tempo, I've talked to the panel? Like, where would you put yourself on the risk scale of getting a callback? Is it risky to give you a callback? Were they unsure? Or were they like, yeah, they've got this, I feel confident with them? I'd love to see where you put yourself on the risk scale. Remember, 1 is like, yeah, 0 risk, well, not 0, 1 risk, but literally hardly any risk. 10 is like really, 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 yeah, really risky. Great. So Ashley says 5, Tallulah says 5 or 6, Rachel says 8, Lauren says 6 or 7. Yeah. Natalie, what about you? What number would you give yourself for that? Yeah, so Rachel, you make a really good point here. I meant to say less than 8, 4. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, I was going to say 8. I wouldn't say 8 is very accurate for you. But you make a really good point with it's a tricky piece for some pianists. Yeah. There's always things that, are part of the audition process that are out of your control. So you want to best help the pianist specifically, which I've no doubt that you do, Rachel, because you're a seasoned pro, you're great, you've got this. But personally, I would literally be like, if you're unsure of this piece, let's stand here right now and sing through the entire thing. Like, talk to them, literally to the point of being like patronizing, especially if they've been there for a really long day. If it's a song that is easy to play, it's one that they're going to know, then you're like, oh great, yeah, we've got this. You don't need to spend loads of time talking to them. You can literally just say to them, like, are you good with this? Would you like a tempo? I go straight through, there's no cuts, it's not complicated. Then you kind of, yeah, you've got that. If it is slightly trickier, then literally go full on, talk about it. So Natalie, I'm just going to refer to your comment here. You said, I have no idea, I'm always surprised to get a callback. Okay, so your risk scale, then you're probably slightly higher. So what can we do to lower that? Look at it and say, right, let's work on my songs. Even if you have 2 songs. My friend works with someone in New York, and she has 2 songs. She has an up tempo and a ballad, and she walks into an audition and she says, do you want the up tempo or do you want the ballad? And that's it. She has nothing else to offer, but she smashes those 2 songs out of the park. That's something to take note of. You don't need 14 songs. What you do need, you could literally walk in with 1 song and get a callback every time, even if the song's not right for the show. And I will argue anyone into the ground that that is a pure fact. Okay, I'm just gonna jump back on some of these. Rachel says, always hit and miss. That's the mood, Rachel. It's hard to know, isn't it? Lauren says, whilst I'm thinking of it, lots of auditions recently, the music has not been played very well and it's always a little scary. Yeah, so Rachel, if that is the case, I think it's a good idea to have a look at your songs and see what is slightly trickier to play, and really then over explain those ones. If the pianists are a little bit dodgy, go for a slightly safer piano option with your songs. As I said, it is a challenge because you can't control it. Natalie, yeah, so this is really interesting what you've said here, Natalie. Most likely, I think it's a lack of self-belief for me. And Ashley says this. Yeah. Yes. So that was my initial thought. I think when you put a higher number on this, it either means that you're not prepared, you're not at the standard you need to be, you're not doing a great job in auditions, or you don't believe in yourself, which is why we're looking at energetics. Because I can give you all these, like, you need this song and you need this cut and you need this tempo and you need to show this part of your voice and here's how you sing this, and I can help you do all that stuff. But you can literally sing the nuts off of like Whitney Houston and not get a callback because you don't believe in yourself. If you don't believe in you, why would anyone else believe in you? So that's why I preach so much about the energetic stuff. So we are going to dive into that a bit more. Yeah, Lauren says that she has a few few backing tracks as well. Lauren, I will remind me of that later on in this when we get to the Q&A. So obviously the goal is to get the callback, right? That's the aim. Otherwise, we're just going along to auditions to have a fun little, fun or not fun, depending on how you look at it, little mini performance in front of a couple of people. We've got a rather expensive hobby rather than a job, haven't we? If we just go to auditions and get cut every time. So yes, the intention is to get a callback so that we can book a job. So I'd love you to dive into this a little bit right now. And I want you to leave a couple of these things in the chat. So talk with me. Let's discuss these. Before we do, Ashley, let me just read your comment. It's definitely a lack of belief in myself, for me and my abilities, from being torn down by people who should have built me up, but I'm learning. Yes. Signing stuff in this contract that singing stuff in this contract that I would never have dreamed of before. Yeah. And that's a big booster, right? To prove to yourself and, that actually you can do things. And this is why it's so important to I talk about who you surround yourself with. I feel like I sound like a broken record. But it's because if you surround yourself, I was having a chat with one of my one-to-one clients yesterday, and she was like, I went to, before I started with you, I used to go to a singing teacher. She said, and I went to her because she was really cheap. And I knew her from training, like from college. She said, but after every lesson, I felt rubbish. She said, I did 3 lessons with her and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I paying someone to make me feel miserable? And that's the reality. Surround yourself with people that lift you up. Do not surround yourself with people that break you down. No one needs to be broken down and rebuilt. We're not derelict houses. Same as your voice isn't broken. It doesn't need to be fixed. What it needs is nurturing. You need nurturing. You need the fire relit inside you. You need direction. You need guidance. You need positivity. You need inspiration and motivation. You don't need people that are literally a waste of time and space and, just create a negative environment. Yeah, Ashley says, I had that with a well-known teacher performer before I found you, Gemma. Interesting. All right, let's move on. Let's sell you, because you are the product. So I talk about you being a business, you being a shop front. If you walked up to, let's use H&M or Zara as an example. If you walked up to Zara and you were like, oh yeah, Zara do really nice clothes, like they're normally really good in there, and you walked up to the shop and there was clothes literally all on the floor, in the window displays, The models were like literally had their heads and arms and legs hanging off, laying on the floor. The clothes were back to front. They were dirty. They were ripped. You know, they were just, it looked a mess. The Zara sign has an A missing and the Z's hanging off. Would you want to go in that shop? Are you doing that to yourself? So I'd love you to look at who you are as a person and a performer, because these link together. I don't believe in work-life balance. I think society made that up to try and make us feel less than we are. Everything is linked. Unless you have a job, and that's what I mean by a job, is you go to the job, you do it, you leave, you go home, you don't think about it. It doesn't come into your life at all. It doesn't affect your life at all. I still think it will a bit. Maybe you defy this, but your career as a performer, your performer is who you are. You've been a singer, you've been, you know, a dancer, an actor, whatever. It's ingrained in who you are. It's part of your soul. It's part of your DNA, I believe. So I don't think you can separate your life as a person and your life as a performer. So I do think they have to come together. So I'd love you to put in the chat. I am going to come back, Rachel and Lauren, to what you've said, but I want you to drop in the chat something that is really incredible about you as a person. It can be a personality trait, this one that I'd love. And it might be like, I always see the best in things. I'm a really positive person. It might be I'm really kind. And I want you to put something about you that's incredible as a performer. This might be, I'm a top soprano. I can belt out an F. I have a really powerful chest voice. I can sing really low. I am a comedic actor. Anything like that. Amazing. Rachel says, I'm a great listener. I'm a great belter. Awesome. Everyone else, drop it in the chat. 2 things, that quick, that easy. Don't overthink it. Tallulah says, I'm empathetic. Nice. Wonderful personality trait to have. What about your talent, Tallulah? As a performer, what are you? Who are you? I have really good natural vibrato. Yeah, I love that. Great. Awesome. Natalie says, I'm very determined. Yeah, that's a good trait to have. I'm great at acting through song. Yes, we like these. We are loving these. Lauren says, I'm a friendly, bubbly person who's kind and nurturing to others. I'm a great vocalist. Yes. Oh, I'm living for these. These are so, so good. Do you see how quickly you did it as well and how specific they are? You're literally like, this is what's great about me as a person. This is what's great about me as a performer. This is what you need to do with everything. Everything about you and everything about you as a performer. So personality and performance. Perfect. So another question you need to ask yourself is, am I appealing to casting directors and creatives? So Rachel, I'm going to come back to your comment. I don't think I quite market myself correctly at the moment and could do with an overhaul, starting with up-to-date headshots. Yeah. So you do have to look at yourself as that shop front that I just told you about. Or it's a little bit like a car, isn't it? Or a house. Or a restaurant. I mean, you can use any example that works for you. If I was buying a house and I stepped inside and there were rats running around, there was water coming down from the hole in the roof, there was no floor on the entire upstairs, like on the landing, the toilet was broken off and there's water spewing out, there's no heating or water running through it, and there's a giant crack through the middle of like the garden where there's a sinkhole and it's about to fall apart. Would I buy that house? Well, no, I'm not a crazy person and I don't want that much of a project. No casting director is going to look at you and be like, oh yes, I'd love a project in my really busy life and day. So they're not going to be bringing you into that show, realistically. And that's the harsh reality. Because when they get people in that audition room that are on it, that are ready, that are flying and have this confidence. They're literally the most appealing thing that could step inside of the room. They are the people that are going to get called back. So how can you be more appealing? What can you do to help yourself? And it does come down to confidence. It does come down to preparation. All of those things that we've already mentioned, that we've already talked about. And you've got to ask yourself, how am I showing up? You know, are you underprepared because you don't go to class? Are you underprepared because you don't practice? Are you underprepared because the morning of an audition, you go, where's all my sheet music? Oh, I didn't print a headshot. Never mind, I'll just tell them to go on my spotlight link. Do you walk in the audition room and say, I'm really sorry, Mr. Pianist, but I haven't got my music, but I'm singing this song, you probably know it, right? Can you just give it a bash? Like, you just, no matter who you are, I don't believe you can or should be doing that. And who do you believe you are? Do you believe you're someone that's struggling? Do you believe you're someone that isn't good enough? Do you believe you're, you know, someone who doesn't deserve to book their dream job? Because that needs an instant turnaround. And I know deep down you believe you are going to do this. I don't think you'd be here in this masterclass if you didn't believe that you have what it takes to book your dream job. I don't think anyone stays in this industry that doesn't believe they can and will do it. We just have doubts. We're human beings. And again, it depends who you surround yourself with. But you know, right? Yeah. Lauren says, I'm a terrible person for comparing myself to others and thinking I'm not booking jobs quick enough. Absolutely. But you also don't know. I mean, everyone, and this is the thing, isn't it? And I say that as performers, community is really important, but comparison is not a good thing at all. So we're all in the same ocean. We're all in the sea of performing, but everyone is in their own separate boat and everyone is sailing to their own separate island. No one's sailing to the exact same island from the exact same place on the exact same route with the exact same conditions. Some people have got a really tiny, shitty little boat with literally an oar to row themselves there. Some people are literally starting from the halfway mark of maybe where your boat started. Some people have a full-on cruise ship, like Rachel's on right now. She's not driving the boat. But that's the situation. That's how no one person's journey can be compared to another person's, because they're just so different. However, I know how easy it is to compare yourself. My advice in that area would be surround yourself with people that move you forward, that lift you up, that keep you going, as a great community, not a competitive community. So an example of this for you, when I was doing loads of audition workshops and classes, I had my little group of friends that we literally always did pretty much everything. They're still some of my closest friends, like to this day. And we're each other's like absolute super fans. But no one in that little group of us is competing against another one, because we just don't have that vibe and that setup. When I started coaching, within sort of the first year, I found I was comparing myself with other people, other types of coaches, other singing teachers, other vocal coaches, etc. And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. Like I've got so lost in who they are that I've forgotten who I am and where I'm going. and how incredible I am. So the more time you spend focusing on other people, the more the focus comes off of you and who you are and where you're going and what's amazing about you. So I think it's really important to come back to you. Unfollow those people on social media that make you feel less than you are. I did that. I did a big, like, I was following a few people because I was like, oh, you know, this is really great. Like they post inspiring stuff, or they're doing this, they're doing that. And I was like, no, actually. And I've had a client come to me in the past and was like, I really want to get an agent. So I followed loads of agents. And then I started feeling shit because they were posting, you know, this, my clients book this, my clients book this. And my entire feed was people booking jobs. And that made me feel like I wasn't doing well enough. So I said to her, well, stop following them. Like, you know what they're called. You can go and look on their Instagram, but that means you have to actively go and seek them out, rather than literally turning the, you know, your phone on, your Instagram app on, and being shoved in your face like, oh, this person's in a job, this person's in a job, this person's in a job. Remove all of that from you. What action can you be taking to make it happen, to make consistent callbacks a reality? In fact, I see some of you have turned your cameras off. Does that mean you're on Instagram right now and following people? Rachel says, I've struggled a lot recently with comparing myself to others, but I do believe in timing and that we all get what we deserve eventually. Our journeys are very different, and that's amazing. Yeah, it's exciting. And that's what's hard, because yes, people have walked the path before you. There are footprints in the sand that you can follow, but your footprint is not always going to fit into someone else's. And that's difficult. There's no one way. And that is the challenge. But that's also the exciting thing. I think if you wanted a done for you, mapped out process, you probably wouldn't be a performer. I wouldn't be a performer if I wanted to know what I'm doing day to day and have an exact schedule and, you know where I'm going to be 5-10 years from now, for definite. So that's all about selling you. And now we want to refine that. So what is working that you're taking and doing at auditions, and what's not? So are your songs working? Is the energy you bring into a room working, but maybe your songs don't match that? Are you a really bubbly person? You step in and you're like, hey, Adela, and then you start singing, I don't know, how did we come to this? Or you don't know this man, or something really intense that doesn't match your energy at all. Or maybe you step into an audition room with a song that is just so far from your voice. Maybe you're singing about I don't know, about being a 50-year-old woman and you're 20. Things like that might be the things that aren't working. And what changes do you need to make? Sometimes it's really simple, really, really simple. It can be something like, take that song out of my rep because I never use it. Every time I've used it, it doesn't work. Or every time I sing it, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't suit my personality. It doesn't suit my style. That change can be made quite quickly and easily, right? What different action can I take? Well, I can replace that song, or I can remove it and just not use it because I actually don't need anything there. I can't sing these notes and I want to be able to. Well, the action you can take there is to go and work with a vocal coach, a singing teacher, and nail those. And how can I be more me? I literally ask myself this on a daily basis. How can I be more Gemma? I like this question because it's a bit like, what does that question even mean? How can I be more me? But what are you not doing in auditions, in your performance life, that you should and could be doing to be more who you are? Like you all said, just further up here, Ashley, you said you're bubbly, a little firecracker. Are you bringing that into every audition? Lauren, you said you're friendly and bubbly. Is that what you're taking into an audition? How can you be even more that? Natalie, you've said you're determined. How can you be more that? Tallulah, I'm empathetic. How can you be more of that when you step into an audition? Rachel, I'm a great listener. How can you be more of who you are? Because that's what's going to upsell casting directors on you. You've got in the room, you've got the audition, you sing the song. Yeah, it was good. What lights a spark that makes them go, oh, we have to call them back? How can I sell me? How can I literally get casting directors buying into who I am as a performer, as a person, and bringing me into the room? And the ways that you can do that are taking in songs that match your energy, that are suitable for you as a performer and as a person, that match your voice, that match where you're at, that include a story that you love telling and you feel a connection to. Prime example of this is that I would never step into an audition room now and sing something that I used to sing, 7 years ago or whatever, because I'm in a different place. I wouldn't step into a room and start singing something from High School Musical or, any of those kind of high school era things, because I don't feel like a 16-year-old, 18-year-old, whatever. And I don't find those stories interesting. So I wouldn't be doing myself justice. I wouldn't be being me if I sang those types of songs. Same as when you see an 18-year-old or 19-year-old that's just graduated college and they're singing Used to Be Mine, or singing, about being 50, or a song that's like a mother, I'm singing about my child. Like, well, is that a match to you? Yes, if your energy is there, perfect. But if you're not, if you're young, fresh, and you're bubbly, you need to be selling them on that. Otherwise, casting directors will look at you and be like, I don't know who they are. I don't know where they fit. Like, I'm confused. You don't want people confused. They sit on a table for an entire day looking at singers and CVs and listening to people sing at them. How can you be so solidly you so that they know who you are? They're like, oh, they are going to be great in this role. Let's give them that material. Or, oh, that actually could work in any of these 3 roles. Let's give them all 3. And that's by knowing that who you are, which you do, because you've said that. And knowing what you're great at as a performer, which you also know because you've said that. You just need to focus on those things and continue to build that relationship. So get in rooms with them. If they have social media, react to their, engage with their posts. Email them when you get a new set of headshots or a new voice reel, vocal reel, you self-tape something and you're sharing it onto your spotlight, or you book a job and you want them to come along. They're doing a class, go to it. What you can't expect is to meet a casting director once and then just assume that, oh yeah, great, that relationship's strong and established. I don't need to focus on that anymore. Like, if you have a partner or a friend, you can use this as an example, or even your family. Oh, great, yeah, that person's my boyfriend now. That he's got that title, so we just don't need to put in any effort anymore. We'll watch that relationship fall apart. It's exactly the same with a casting director or with a creative. You have to maintain these relationships 100%. Natalie, let me come back to your comment here. A huge issue I have with singing auditions is that I go into the room with an attitude that I won't get the job anyway. Yeah, there we go. There's a huge red flag already. So I don't dedicate enough time to practice, because spending so much time working on a song only for it to not go my way makes it too emotionally invested. And I try to stay a bit more emotionally detached, so it's easier on my mental health. It's a problem. Yeah, that's a huge problem, because that's a massive misalignment. Well, I don't want to put in the work because I won't get a callback, and I won't get a callback because I didn't put in the work. Like, that's a vicious circle. So that's a triangle circle that you need to really look at fixing. Practice for the sake of practicing. Practice to become a better person, a better performer, the best version of yourself, and feel incredible and passionate about what you do. And then you just happen to take that into an audition room. You will feel different when you've worked on something, or when you're going in to share your talent, rather than pinning it on, I've got to get this. Last time I checked, nobody died from not getting a callback. I don't think anyone's ever died in an audition. Like, it's just an audition. But we do put it on a pedestal. We put callbacks on a pedestal all the time. What we need to do is normalize callbacks and deliver your up-leveled version of yourself. Yeah, so much pressure. Absolutely. I'd love you to put your name and 2.0 in the chat. This is a turning point. Natalie said about, like, you know, I'm in this circle of, I don't think I'm going to get a callback, so I don't work on my song, and I don't work on my song, so I don't get a callback. Like, let's change that narrative. So I want you to put your name 2.0 in the chat, into the comments, into the chat section right now. We're declaring that the old version of you, the OG or the 1.0 version, is gone. No more, thank you. No. Rachel 2.0, let's go. Yes, Ashley 2.0, Tallulah 2.0, bring it, says Ashley. Natalie 2.0, Maria 2.0. Yes, this is the new version of you. Rachel, ask me that question at the end. Let's go, says Maria. Yes, this is the new version. This is the up-leveled version. This is the version that puts in the work, that takes incredible songs, that performs like an absolute superstar, that gets callbacks all the time. This is all about consistency. So you keep showing up. You keep taking action and making big moves. You keep maintaining and building those connections. What I would love you to do after this masterclass is make a list of all the people that you know in the industry that you have a slight connection with, and see what you can do to make that stronger. Whether it's book a class with that casting director, whether it's reach out to that director that you worked with 3 years ago, whether it's a performer friend that you no longer really talk to. Like, rebuild those connections. Maintain and grow your skills. Keep believing that it's meant for you. If you tell yourself every single day that you're going to make it happen no matter what, if you ask yourself every day, how can I be more Natalie? How can I be more Maria? How can I be more Ashley? How can I be more Tallulah? How can I be more Rachel? How can I be more me? How can I take more action and, you know, take big moves? I call it a breakthrough move when I do something that I've never done before or I wouldn't normally do. I did a huge breakthrough move when I booked New York. I was like, oh, can I really take like over a week out, like, you know, of coaching and life and everything? Oh, but who's going to look after my dog? I was like, oh, Can I do that? You know, it costs money, and New York's an expensive place, and da, da, da. And I was like, okay, no, like this isn't, next level Gemma would not be letting these excuses or these thoughts even enter her brain. So I booked it. That was a breakthrough move for me, because I just out of nowhere was like, F it, let's go. You've got to believe that everything that is coming for you is really coming. If you sit there and go, oh yeah, I'm gonna book that cruise, or oh, I'm gonna book the role in Les Mis. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on the West End, but deep down you're like, oh, I won't. There's a mismatch. To get fully aligned, like, you've got this. You've literally said there, let's go. Yes, 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 let's do it. No, you're going to make it happen no matter what. No matter what are three of my favorite words. And I really, really encourage you to use them in your day-to-day life, in your language. Like, yeah, that is a crazy high song, but I'm going to give it a try, because I am going to book this job no matter what. Yes, there are a lot of people at this audition, but I'm in this for the long run. I'm going to be getting a call back no matter what. No matter who else is around here, no matter what they've done, no matter how good they are. I am worth this. So keep showing up, keep taking action and making your big moves, keep maintaining and building your connections, keep, you know, maintaining and growing your skills, keep believing that it's meant for you, it's coming for you, it's a matter of time, and know that you're going to make it happen no matter what. As I just said, you're in this for the long term. You're going to book your dream role. Callbacks are the new normal for you. You're going to start doing all of those things, all of these things. So callbacks are normal for you, Rachel. You're going to book your dream role. Callbacks are normal for you, Maria. You're going to book your dream role. You're in this for the long term. You're not going anywhere. Natalie, callbacks are normal for you. Ashley, callbacks are the new norm. Callbacks are just a normal thing. It's an everyday thing. Tallulah, callbacks are normal for you. They just happen. It's a completely normal thing for you. And then the next step from here, the next step beyond this masterclass, because this, yes, I've given you some things to think about. Yes, I've given you some strategy. Yes, I've given you some energetics. But if you want more than that, your next step is to work more intensely to get where you want to go, to become a lead role musical theatre performer, to be able to walk into your auditions, your singing auditions, and be like, yes, I have the right song. Yes, I feel confident with my songs. Yes, I'm going to give an incredible performance, get a call back and book this role. You'll know exactly where you fit in the industry. You'll be getting consistent callbacks, and you will book that dream role and show. You won't be settling for jobs that are less than anymore. If you literally want to live your life how you see it, so that in that role every single night, go from like feeling a little bit lost, go from a bit frustrated, like not really getting callbacks or really occasional inconsistent callbacks, to feeling really confident in who you are, in what you have to offer. Be excited for your auditions, because you're like, oh yes, I get to go in and share my talent. I always give a great performance. I've got the most perfect audition songs for me. Like they tell a story. They sound great. They are who I am. I get callbacks all the time, and I book dream roles. The role, the show, the jobs that you're like, I've always wanted to do these. Like, that is your reality. You walk up to the theatre or wherever your show is every day, like, oh my goodness, how is this my life? Like, you step out on stage, you've got a full audience, you take the bows, you're literally leading a cast, you bow, and you've got standing innovation every single show. And you're like, this is it. This is why I kept working. This is why I didn't stop. This is why it was important for me to find the right audition songs, to know where I fitted in the industry, give an incredible performance at all my auditions, get consistent callbacks so that I could book this job right now, be here, centre stage, taking this bow in front of this insane audience every single day, every night. Like, how is this my life? That is what you should. That is where you should be. So everything, I'm going to run through quickly, everything you get inside of Rep Revamp, because it honestly is the most incredible program I've ever created. And it is all based on how I went from, as I said, you know, struggling, no callbacks, really frustrated with my entire life, career. I was really unhappy, to absolutely loving every day performing on stage in like a role that I dreamed of doing and auditioned for years. After getting consistent callbacks and just feeling so super confident. It's a complete change in your life. So you get one-to-one vocal and career coaching, and that's bi-weekly. So, excuse me, we'll be working at your casting, working on your singing and your audition songs, planning the steps that you need to take to get to that dream role, literally mapping out your path. Your audition song suggestions, they'll all be perfect for you and your voice. So they're the songs that you need for any audition. Every and any audition that comes up, you will get songs that are right for that. You'll have a handful of songs, you won't have thousands of songs, because you don't need thousands of songs. Anyone that's telling you you need like 50,000 songs in different categories doesn't know what they're talking about and is lying to you. Sheet music, support and audition cuts. So you'll find your sheet music, but then I will be there to help you make sure that the cuts are great, everything's in the right key, and it's ready to go. It's marked, it's prepared, and it's literally like you can step into an audition with it instantly. You'll be so ready, it'll be well presented. As I said before about your shop front, you know, you have to look good. If your music's a mess, you look like you're a mess. You'll be able to explain your cuts, tempo, everything with confidence to the pianist. So you'll set yourself up as well as you physically can. You also have group audition and performance coaching. So this is once a month. And this will be to perfect your connection and your storytelling so that you can present yourself in the audition room as the absolute superstar, to make sure that you're always giving a great performance. You'll be the singer that the panel is like, oh, we have to bring them back in. Yeah, we know that. They're already in the yes pile. Like, you'll be that person that keeps coming up to them. And then there's Voxer group coaching weekly as well. Voxer is like WhatsApp, but it's for coaching, and that's for ongoing support. So literally you and all the performers in that program, don't worry, it's not loads. I've made it sound like there's thousands of people inside of it. It's not. It's a very small community, really small number of performers inside of this program. This is going to be the true magic, because the level ups that happen each week inside of this space are something else. They're just insane. So good. So we deal with so many different issues. If you've got an audition coming up, then you can ask for guidance, check your songs. You can put self-tapes in there. You can put your spotlight in there to get, you know, I've done this update. What do you think? You can literally talk about energetics. You can discuss other things with other performers. It's such an incredible space. And then you've got these bonuses, which are awesome. You get access to all the micro programs, so anything else that happens that's small inside whilst you're inside of this program. And the whole entire course ends in September time. In September, you have a West End casting director and musical director mock audition and Q&A. So this entire course can be online or in London, or a combination of the two. But this is going to be a chance for you to take your new songs and your new leveled up version of who you are, the lead role performer, and show and share it with a casting director and a musical director to get feedback. and ask them absolutely any questions you want to ask them. Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. And then there's a bonus that because you're part of this, masterclass, I've thrown in another bonus because I'm a bit crazy like that. We're starting in a couple of weeks, but I was like, what else can I give you to help you out for your auditions? What else can I add to this? So I'm going to be doing a pop song masterclass, and this is learning how to choose popular music songs for your auditions and how to perform them, because there's so many contemporary shows that are asking you to bring a pop song, and I know a lot of you, some of you are like absolutely fine with your pop stuff, but still have a bit of like am I choosing the right stuff? I feel confident in it, but am I choosing the right stuff? Others of you, and you might be in this boat, are thinking like, what the hell do I take? Like, I'm just grabbing any old pop song. Like, I don't know what to choose. Should I act it? Should I like jam to it? Like, what should I be doing? So if you join within the next 48 hours, so if you join by Sunday evening, this Sunday evening, which is the 18th of June, I believe, then you get this extra bonus. This is going to be a group coaching, so you can bring a pop song and work on it. And I'm going to be coaching you on how to make it better, how to choose the best songs, how to perform those songs, how to cut those songs so that you can book those auditions as well. So you've literally got every single possible ground covered. I'm really excited about this bonus class as well. Really, really looking forward to this. So, okay, let's open out for questions. I'm going to come back to you so you can actually see my face and be like, oh, she isn't just a voice. So let me come back to Zoom. Oh, no, wait, I don't want to hang up. Where are we? How do I stop sharing? Oh, there we go. Oh, hang on. Start my video. All right, I'm back. I am real. I'm not just a voice. Okay, great. So I'm just going to answer a couple of these questions. So Ashley, you've said, I really want to do this, but as I'm away on a contract, can it be done online? Yes, the whole thing can be done online. The group masterclasses are all online. One-to-ones can be in person or online. And the mock audition at the end of the course can be done online, or it can be in person. It's up to you, whatever works for you. So yes, if you are away on a contract, you can do this. Yes, if you're away for part of it and you're here for some of it, in London for some of it, you're not living in London, whatever, it can absolutely be done. We'll work it around you. Because the one-to-one stuff is pretty much scheduled around like your schedule. Obviously, it's around my schedule too, but it's around the days and times that work best for you. Shalula says, would this be suitable for drama school auditions? I'm worried if it wouldn't be suited to people on this stage. I don't think this is the best fit for you right now, Tallulah. It's more advanced than that. It's after training style of thing. I would say for you, Tallulah, I'd keep doing these masterclasses. I would keep following everything that I'm doing on social media, join in with all of the lives and everything, and learn and grow from all of those, or take a look at the membership potentially. But again, that's kind of majority. All of the programs I do are tailored to everyone that's either at the end, nearly the end of their training, or literally at the start or throughout their professional career. So that answers that question. I'm going to come back to these other questions. Do drop in anything else as well. Any questions relating to callbacks, anything relating to the program, please do ask away. So Rachel, you said, do you have any masterclasses in July I could try and drop into? I haven't got anything confirmed yet, like that I can announce. Rep Revamp, you know about, that is starting at the end of this month. Inside of the membership, which I know you remember, Rachel, we've got some really cool things happening. We've got the masterclasses next week inside of the membership, and then a self-tape challenge from July, which is really going to be fun. There was another question. I can't remember who asked it. I want to say it was Lauren, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, Lauren said, can you do a vocal check? Yeah, vocal range check. Yeah, so we'll be checking all of those things in, because Lauren's already inside of the program. Lauren literally messaged me the day that I was announcing it and was like, have you got anything like this coming up? And I was like, yeah, actually, this is everything that you wanted and needed and more. So yes, we'll check your range so that it's your CV. We'll be looking at your Spotlight CV, making sure that it is fully up to date and okay. But yes, we will be doing a range check, because I will want to make sure I know your range and where your voice sits for your song suggestions as well, which I'm really excited for. It's a program that I am very, very passionate about. It's going to be part of, you know, my world for a long time. Absolutely. But yeah, we're starting this one at the end of this month. And like I said, if you sign up in the next 48 hours, you know, the best way to join, didn't tell you that, is to send me a DM over on Instagram. Ask me any questions and yeah, apply for the program, and we'll make sure that it is the right fit. It is a program that isn't going to suit everyone, but if you are feeling a little bit lost, or you need some more direction, you're unsure of your casting, you're unsure of your audition songs, but you want to be getting consistent callbacks, you want to be stepping into the audition room knowing, like, this is who I am, these are the songs I've got, and I know they're incredible. Like, I feel confident in who I am, everything I'm bringing into the audition room. You get consistent callbacks and book the job. You want to be living every day in that dream job, your career being like the one you've always imagined, then absolutely. Ashley says, just DM'd you. Great. I will talk to you very soon in the DMs, Ashley. I'm really excited. Amazing. Has anyone got any other questions before we close down? I have run over a little bit with this masterclass, a little bit longer than I planned, but I, as always, like to give everything, share everything, never been a gatekeeper, always very honest and open as a person. So I do tend to give more than I give so much value away. No, you're very welcome, Ashley. You're very, very welcome. You too, Rachel, sailing away. Amazing. Cool. I will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll send you the replay as well, and speak very soon.